Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Another installment of the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio 93.5 The Beach. We are broadcasting from the Ravens Room at the Blue Ox, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City with Ravens Roost 44. Give yourself a hand, guys. Good turnout tonight. Well, it is week number 6 in the NFL, and for your 4-1 Baltimore Ravens coming up, we will recap the 9-6 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk news and notes, recap the rest of the AFC North action, and preview the upcoming game against the Dallas Cowboys. Kickoff 1 o'clock at M&T Bank Stadium. The Ravens Wrap Show brought to you by, of course, our friends at the original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, also Bud Light, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Geico, the Ocean City Golf Club, jctickets.net, and the Holiday Inn Express. I'm Mike Bradley from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. To my left, guest panelist joining us once again, Steve Slaza from Ravens Roost 44. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you.
All right.
Steven.
To our left, coming back for week number, I believe, 3 it is this year, Bobby Vermillion, of course, former host of the Stallion Sports Show, but currently Endless Golf and the Resort Golf Guide. So, Bobby, welcome back.
It's good to be back. I took a couple bye weeks, and I'm all ready to go.
Yeah. And also joining us, a guest on the panel, we got a fearsome twosome up here when it comes to golf. Buddy Sass, he's the golf pro at Ocean City Golf Club. Buddy, welcome.
Oh, my pleasure. Great to be here.
All right, buddy. My mentor, my teacher.
And of course, as you can see, continuing in the tribute to the Orioles as we're filming this knee-deep into the ALDS for the New York Yankees. So, of course, we're rooting them on all the way to the World Series. What a magical year this year for the Orioles. Well, guys, let's get to it. And I guess one of the things we have to talk about is, hey, it's better to win ugly than lose pretty in the NFL. And one of the toughest things to do is win on the road in the NFL. So, for a second, let's put aside all the negatives. A 9-6 win is a win, and we'll take it.
I said this is a game that we definitely would have lost last year, and they survived the curse of Roost 44, who was out in Kansas City. Yeah. All right. So, unfortunately, we did in Jacksonville, but that was very similar to the game in Jacksonville or the game in Seattle last year that we would have lost. But our defense, I think, is really coming together, and all in all, I think it was a very positive effort.
Well, it's week by week, and obviously not one of the better performances by the Ravens. They can spin a little bit and say, win's a win, and it certainly is. To win any game in the NFL, particularly on the road, is not an easy task. But in their hearts, they did not play a good football game. They know that. John Harbaugh alluded to it in his press conference. They're not happy about the way they played. But you're going to take a win anytime, and I think it's a good point. We saw the team play similar last year in the Tennessee game, in the Seattle game, and we came in with losses. So I think it's a big statement that this team was able to go ahead and win a game that they probably would have lost last year. And hey, how about our new kicker, man? Tucker's just been doing phenomenal. Did a great job. The Ravens obviously know a lot more than we give them credit for. And obviously the Redskins, as of today, released Billy Cundiff, so no surprise there.
Yeah,
So.
We're looking pretty good with that. Buddy, your thoughts on the game against KC?
Well, I have to say the same thing. When you have a great ball club, well-coached, veterans, and they win the tough, close ones, that's going to make the difference at the end of the year. And I think that's the hallmark of what the Ravens are becoming as a franchise.
And, to take it into a golf scenario, you always hear about Tiger Woods, and he's won a lot of tournaments when he didn't have his A game. And, Buddy, certainly the Ravens did not have their A game this weekend, but they were still able to notch out a win.
No, when you don't have your A game and you can make a putt or a big kick, something key that keeps the round going. I mean, golf, all athletics are kind of the same way. You take the bad stuff and minimize it, you come out with a victory.
And getting the first down at the end of the game, the Joe Flacco run on third down when everybody was covered, Steve, that was huge. And those that don't think Steve or Joe can move around a little bit, well, he certainly proved them wrong.
Yeah, I thought that was big. I mean, you have a 3rd and 14, and Flacco comes up with a 16-yard run. People don't really think about him as being an athletic quarterback, but when you look at his speed, I mean, he sort of doesn't get the credit he should because he's so tall, but he can really move, and, that play in itself stands for his movement.
And the Ravens improving to 4-1 on the season. That's the third time that they've done that under John Harbaugh, and they're looking for only the second time to go to 5-1. Of course, we'll preview the upcoming game against the Dallas Cowboys in just a little bit. And you take a look right now, Houston Texans are undefeated at 5-0, but the Ravens with the second best record in the AFC right now. And you guys talked about it, alluded to it, with the fact that last year we lose that game. We lost to Jacksonville on the road. We lost to Tennessee on the road. We lose to Seattle on the road. So getting that win is huge. And, we may look back at this game, and this may be the difference in hosting that extra home playoff game this year as compared to last year.
Absolutely. I think every game takes on its own personality. Early in the season, we watched Kerry Williams get picked on, and we talked about what are we going to do about the Ravens' pass defense. And then this weekend, we watched the first half of that Kansas City game, and we can't seem to stop the run. Every game is different. I think the one great thing about the Ravens is they keep teams out of the end zone, and they really made some great adjustments at halftime. Hats off to John Harbaugh and his staff. And you can say, why did it take so long to fix it? But I tell you what, it was a completely different football team on the defensive side of the ball in the second half, and they really stuffed the run. And to do that to Charles is a big statement for that defense. Absolutely.
Well, I thought that was very important. They realized at halftime, hey, we're over-penetrating, and this guy's too quick. Just hold on to your block for a little second longer, and they'll be able to stop him. And, he gained 125 yards in the first half and 15 in the second. And, we usually don't make great halftime adjustments. So for the Ravens, I think that was, a foreshadowing of things to come.
Yeah, no question. And Buddy coming in, Jamal Charles and that Kansas City rushing offense, they were second in the league, so you have to give them some credit. They're paid to do a job, and they've been very good at it up to this year.
Absolutely, and I think when you look at it, it doesn't feel like the Ravens panic to me. This year they just seem a little more mature. There's no panic in them. They make the adjustments. They do what they need to do. They get the win. That's what you're looking for.
Guys, I do have to ask this, and I don't like automatically equating poor play with a flat nature in terms of intensity, or vice versa with that. I will say this, I have to throw it out there, though. It did seem like that from an intensity level standpoint. It did seem like from an energy standpoint as well. They were flat, and here they had a few extra days to rest coming off that Thursday night game against Cleveland. Was that just me, or did you guys get that feeling as well?
No, I actually saw a lot of things written about it in Baltimore where they said they were flat. And, as the average fan, I'm like, how can you be flat with 10 days off? But sometimes, in the NFL, you get in a rhythm where you play every so-and-so days, and your condition to your body is to react that way. But, people try to look back and say, oh, the Thursday game was not great, and this game was not great. The only thing we had to do in both these games was survive. We are a team that on the road has had our difficulties, especially with the no huddle. I think it's extremely difficult to come out and run the no huddle, where I feel like we should come out running and then go into the no huddle.
Well, I'd say this, being flat, whenever a team doesn't play well, on the road particularly, they come out flat.
And that's why I prefaced it.
And I will say this, the Ravens were part of really 3 emotional games, nationally televised games, whether it's Cincinnati, New England, and then even the Cleveland game on the Thursday night. So they had the national audience. They go to Kansas City, obviously in a great environment, a team that's not really good. So, yeah, was there a little bit of a letdown? Maybe, but one of the things, there's only 16 games in a season, and I think Ray Lewis and the veterans on that team know how important every game is. We saw how it played out last year when we didn't host the AFC Championship game, and it probably cost us a trip to the Super Bowl. So I think these guys know how important each week is. I'm not going to buy the fact that this team is flat. They just, it's hard to win in the NFL on the road, and Kansas City is a very difficult place to play. Look how much emotion has to do with it. You look at, this week the Colts. They beat Green Bay. Right. So who would have picked that game? So you just never know in the NFL.
Yeah, it's week in, week out. The old saying goes, anybody can beat anybody. Buddy, with the parity in the league, that's certain, as you just pointed out, Bobby, with the Green Bay Indianapolis game.
Any given Sunday, I don't think you look past anybody. These guys are professionals. They're not looking past the Chiefs or anybody else. Yeah, I don't buy it. I think the energy was there. It was just a tough game.
I know that they made adjustments, Bobby. You talked about it at halftime, and they certainly did a great job in the second half of shutting down Jamal Charles. But coming into the game, I will ask this, though. We knew that they were the second leading rushing team. We knew that Jamal Charles got a bulk of the carries and that they had a team that has been averaging over 5 yards a carry. You had 10 days to prepare. Were you still surprised, though, how much we got gashed in the first half? And I know they made adjustments, but it just seemed to me that, adjustments aside, that was a little bit too far in the first half of the Ravens.
I couldn't agree more. I was not shocked. I was shocked more than surprised, because I've really never seen a team go up and down the field on the Ravens like they did in the first half in Kansas City. And it was the only running back ever to get over 100 yards since, I think, 1997 or something. So it's been a long, long time.
Yeah, since March, actually 98, since March of Broder.
So it's been a long time since we've seen the defense give up that kind of yards. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens defense has always taken a lot of pride in, number one, stop the run. That's what our whole defense is based on. So to see that happen against, I know Kansas City is a very good running football team, no question with Jamal Charles. I was shocked to see that, even though it was they were a good opponent.
And Steve, to ask you, I mean, look, the leadership, the adjustments on the field, that's great. But I got to tell you, just because he has 10 tackles, Ray Lewis at times he's not his old self. I mean, as he gets older, and Bruce talked about it last week, he brings a lot of intangibles to the field, but he gets blocked up. And, 10 tackles, but if they're 8 yards down the field, that's a different story than making them 2 yards down the field.
I see that, and that's a big talk now. Is though he lost 20 pounds, he can no longer defend the middle. But I would still rather have a defense with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. I think anytime you have those two guys on your defense, you've got a good chance. And he's not the same as he was, but he's still awful darn good.
Well, I would even take it this far with Ray Lewis. I mean, I think you have to look at the guys up front. Obviously, you got Haloti Ngata, but some of the young defensive linemen, you're missing a lot up front. And if the defensive line doesn't get penetration and the offensive line wins, it puts Ray back a little bit. And not just Ray Lewis, look at our linebackers in general. If they're not attacking the line of scrimmage, if our defensive line is getting pushed back, it's hard to make a 1 or 2 yard gain. And that's I think the defensive line, as much as Ray Lewis with the linebackers, it's a team effort. And people always, again, the first thing they'll talk about with Ray, he's old. Well, let me tell you, just knowing what I know, Ray Lewis, there's nobody in better shape, physical condition on that football field than Ray Lewis. He's not, before anybody else gets tired, it's not going to be him. He'll probably be the last man standing. So, age always has something to do with it. Maybe he can't move as well, but stopping the run should be the easy part. And obviously, with the fact that he has lost weight, everybody's going to pick on that. That's the first thing to look at.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, and guys, we just have about 30 seconds. Clearly, there's nobody better to replace him. I'm not putting that out there, but it gets to be an issue, though, when he gets blocked up. And even at his peak of his career, he was never great shedding blockers. When the defensive line could take up those offensive linemen and he could go sideline to sideline untouched to make the tackles, that was obviously when he was at his best.
He's probably going to have a talk with his defensive line.
Yeah, well, it could be. And Jameel McClain, the same thing. And him and Ellerby at times get blocked up too much, in my opinion. But we've got a lot more to talk about with the 96 victory, the Ravens over the Chiefs. More to come here. It is the Ravens Wrap Show on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, 93.5 The Beach. We're back.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.